And welcome to episode 190 of More Than Dice. I can hear no sound playing on any device right now, so hopefully Skype I can still hear. Kathy, can you still hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, so Kathy can hear me. I cannot hear anything that is happening on any of our channels or any of our programs, so we'll just have to worry about that after the stream. Um, so we'll get that going. Welcome to episode 190 of More Than Dice. I'm Gonzo.
I'm John.
I'm Kathy. It's funny. I was just reflexively waiting for John to say, "I'm John,"
I know.
Well, that one I
even
can
though he wasn't
legitimately
there.
blame on Banyan because he was in my way in the kitchen.
Banyan.
Thanks, Beaniad. You just threw off the whole thing. Now
He
we
can't
have to
hear you.
start
He's still
over.
making his drink.
um,
Clip that and show it to him later.
Apparently, you're the loud.
I have not changed a single thing.
That is so weird.
Yeah, so I haven't touched anything. I'll
Because
turn
he
this.
seems super quiet
I'm
in
gonna
my ear
turn
hole.
myself down even more. I have not touched a single thing. All I did was hit the record button.
So odd.
It is. I have no
Mike
clue what's
is
going
way more powerful, apparently. I
Yeah.
don't know.
All right, I turned myself down even more, L. Marshall. So hopefully that'll do it. No, I have no clue. I am way below them in decibels now. So, welcome to another episode. Today, we're just going to do just a kind of hang out and paint and talk about stuff. Other than that, we want to thank Muse on Minis for hosting all of our files, where you can find us on everything and everywhere. Do we have any tributes this week, John?
Not that came across my my feed. The only RIP that came across my feed is apparently people being stupid, not an actual dead person.
Yeah, I haven't had anything. I didn't see anything either. So I mean,
I mean, rip Twitch's IT and Facebook's IT.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, that was a double whammy this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not only did Facebook go down and cause a bunch of scientists to not able to research their own research on the vaccine for 6 hours.
It actually affected a lot of people. So
yeah, it
like,
did.
Like, people have been a little up in arms about that. You know, like, oh, go out and meet people, talk about. Like, look, this is the way life is now. Facebook is in it. This is how a lot of people communicate. Like, a lot of old people retire, and that's how they keep in touch with everyone. They got groups they go to.
Just because you don't consume Facebook the way other people do doesn't mean that it doesn't matter that it went down.
Yeah, just go, oh, that's interesting. It didn't affect me. And then go on with your life. It's okay. Thumbs up to you. You know, stop judging.
Yeah,
Stop judging.
I don't need to hear about the evil empire. I mean,
yeah,
you know,
we know they're
I know
empire.
what it is, but it's also a vehicle for a great many small businesses that would not be in business otherwise.
Yep. So word. Yeah,
That's
see,
my-
kept him as you couldn't play
my rant.
Pokemon Go. I mean, that's a thing. It affects people in different ways.
So yeah, I mean that was actually, I mean, because a lot of people do a lot of business through Facebook. So yeah,
Yeah.
I get that. But it was just a running joke. And Twitch.
It's a good, funny running joke. If some people were a little more than joking about it, let's say.
Yeah.
And then of course Twitch got everything
All their data.
stolen.
All their data.
Yep.
Yeah, that was stolen, and the interesting part was that all the people got to see how much all their favorite Twitch streamers receive monthly.
Yep.
In payouts, not because it was interesting.
Well,
it was just
also keep in
payouts.
mind the raw data is actually like 2 years worth of payouts.
Well, someone did post out what this person got paid last month.
Oh yeah, which is fine, but all the big ones they're sharing
You
is
know what?
over.
More power to them if they can game Twitch in that way. More power to them.
Twitch don't care. They ain't being game. Twitch is like, we making money hand over fist. We good.
But they play the game the right way in order to make money at it. More power to them.
That they are bringing entertainment, and people pay what they want to. There's no one putting a gun to their head. They're paying what they want to for that entertainment, and you know, God bless them. Keep going. Keep doing your thing. If you're bringing joy to people and they're willing to give you their money, it sounds awesome to me.
Yeah.
It was just interesting because some people were like, "Wow, I'm not going to donate to them anymore. They already make a few $1 million."
Don't be jealous. I mean, that's all it is. Some people can't stand to see other people succeed. I don't understand it.
Some people just want to watch the world burn.
Yeah. I mean, I like burning as much as the next person, but geez.
Indeed.
Um,
Spoiler, we're not on that list, in case you're wondering. It doesn't go down that low.
um, what else? That was about it. I mean, oh, and Instagram went down too because it's part of Facebook. So I mean,
Yeah.
that did.
That affected me even less than anything else. So
Yeah.
I was at work, and Facebook even affected me, and that affected me less.
Um, so John, what are you drinking tonight, by the way?
I'm drinking a Mexican Mule.
What is a Mexican Mule?
Mexican Mule is basically it's just like a mule with tequila instead of vodka.
Oh, I didn't know.
Really?
Yeah, I don't
So
drink
it's
a lot
in
of mules.
Mexico instead of Russia.
Bing, 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 bing. Yeah, so for those of you who
See,
want the
I
actual
know my
names,
geography and my
it's
geographic liquors.
it's tequila, lime juice, and ginger beer. And I'll say it all the time: use ginger beer. Do not use
Not
ginger
ginger
ale.
ale.
Fuck your ginger ale. Throw that shit in the garbage. It's nothing.
Don't
Get your
throw it
ginger
in the
beer.
garbage. Just don't use it in a mule.
Oh, garbage. Do not buy anymore. Buy ginger beer.
Ginger ale,
No,
it's
Captain
got its
Izzy, I'm here to
place.
tell you, if you like a good Moscow mule, you should definitely try a Mexican mule. It is super tasty.
Tequila is delicious, and I would rather have a Mexican mule. I prefer it over vodka any day.
Kathy, what are you drinking?
I have what's left of gin and tonic, and then I will be drinking tea because there's almost nothing left of my gin and tonic.
I am drinking some Remy Martin XO. I got a bottle of it this week, so we'll be
You didn't
drinking that.
crack open the Macallan?
Oh, Macallan was cracked open the minute it walked in the door, and I had some last night. So, yes, the Macallan was cracked open last night. So, guys, please be safe out there. Please still wear your mask. Get vaccinated. Make sure that we get to see you during HUGCon 2021. Almost said 2020. 2022.
Yeah.
So we can see you all at Adepticon because we're all going to be there for that, and it'll be nice to see all of our friends and family and
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. So,
Amazing.
to everybody out there, stay safe. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. For the record, my tea is chai tea. This is a delicious chai.
Mizzy, if you don't like vodka either, get some good whiskey. You can make a whiskey mule, and they are very good as well. Just don't use the really good stuff on it. That seems like a waste. Use some middling stuff. I've done it with the Japanese whiskeys I have. The Centauri Toki whiskey was very good in a mule. Very good. The Jameson's Stout edition that Banyan has makes a very good mule as well. Interesting flavors to that one. There you go.
I did download some 3D cat ears, so we will be having that as a my own. Since John has Transformers and Kathy has Stretch, I'll have ears.
Yay.
As mine. I just gotta get them printed and painted up. I'll probably do it the same color as this green on the headset, the inside green, so it'll kind of look cool.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I can just do that. So I gotta get it. I've just got other things in the works. So
You gotta get it. Get it.
Yeah, I'll be setting it up as a print. Shouldn't take too long. I'll do a resin print of it, so it'll be a lot cooler and quicker. Other than that, which it means I've been actually people have been ordering a lot of 3D print stuff from me. I have some people are desperate to have the MCP terrain that I've been printing out because
cool.
that's been good. That's been going pretty hot, but those take forever to print. They take a long, long time. Just for the simple fact that it's on the FDM printer. So, but
I just got good news.
What'd you get?
The legal team at TeePublic has gotten back to me about their takedown of my account, which had one shirt and only one shirt on it, which was HugCon 2022. Because somehow, I don't know if somebody reported it or what, because, who knows? Who knows? But, so I contacted them, and my account has been reinstated.
Wait, why did your why'd you get I don't understand.
I was going to
Look,
ask why she didn't tell me, but I'm pretty sure it's because I wouldn't go there and beat them to a pulp, because that's the stupidest thing I've
look,
heard in a bit.
who knows? All I know is the day after I posted my t-shirt design for HugCon 2022, which basically was hippie style font text that said HugCon 2022 and my name and my Twitch, right? That's it. No
Yeah?
pictures, no art, nothing else. That's it. And the next day, I get this email that says that I was in violation of their terms of service. And I was like, how? How? I read that terms of service like 20 times. I'm like,
Like,
how?
A, how, B, how, and C, fuck you,
But
how?
at the bottom of the email, it had a contact for their legal thing if I had a, you know, problem with that. So of course I contacted them, and they got back to me, and then I sent them information, and now they've gotten back to me that my account has been reinstated. So hooray for Kathy!
I mean, I would have understood if there was like already a convention called HugCon.
I know, and
I,
I googled it, nothing.
yeah,
And I searched T Public in case somebody else was making a shirt that said that. Not that it matters because text isn't really,
correct.
you know. But no, there wasn't anything. There were things about hugging, of course.
Of course.
And
Yeah, I just did
but
a
yeah,
quick search of HugCon, and nothing came up that was, there's not an
yeah,
actual hug convention.
nothing, nothing. I was like, you don't understand this. So
That's weird.
yeah.
Weird.
Well, the thing is, if you're able to use a font, then you it's either free or you paid for it, or I guess maybe you pirated it, but at any rate, it's the
Yeah.
font.
Yeah. And I don't know what the picture, what it looked like, but I'm sure it was that little, the hippie bubbly type font or whatever.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
the hippie bubbly type font that you see. Yeah.
Which everybody in their world uses. So
Yep.
I mean, I wouldn't think that. And to do a copyright violation, you would have to actually show that you have
It
proof of a
didn't it
copyright.
didn't say how terms of service was violated. There was nothing about in what way it was violated, because that would require an actual person to look at it and make a decision about it. And I don't think anyone actually looked at it. They maybe got a complaint. I don't know why, but there's people out there that just surf things and
I
report
mean,
things for
Well,
kicks.
usually you have to prove that you have, because I had to do this for Warfare Weekend. Someone in Japan was trying to copyright Warfare Weekend and our logo and stuff, and I proved that I have the copyright on it.
Oh, I
And
did. I had to send in my original layers,
uh huh,
my file with the layers of artwork of text basically,
yeah, because I had to
and
do that, and I was like,
the design that I used to make it look like it was distressed text.
yeah, because usually you have to prove it. Even to do a copyright, strike on somebody, you have to have some type of proof that it's yours.
no. You don't have to prove shit to do copyright strikes. You just tell the company, and they're so scared, they take it down and see if you will challenge it. That's how
Yeah,
it works for
yeah.
everything nowadays.
Oh, see, when I had to copyright someone for Warfare Weekend and More Than Dice, I had to do that, and I had to show that how do you have why are you doing this, and why can you? And I was like, because I own this copyright. And they're like, okay, how do you own it? And I had to prove it, but it was like just simple. I showed our web page and our logo and stuff like that, so it was
Mhm.
quick and easy. But
Now, for most of those things, like if you're on YouTube and you have fair use video, they'll take it down. You have to prove it's fair use to them,
Yeah. So that's
not vice
basically
versa. Yeah.
that's the boat I was in, and it was easy. It just wasn't quick. You know, it took
Yeah,
three
because you
days
mentioned
for
that,
them to
and
get
now I
back to
remember
me
you
each
saying
time.
you were going to make a Hug Con T-shirt that I need to purchase one of.
Yeah, I remember
Well,
you
now
saying
it's
something
up
about
there. It's up there on my T Public.
Yeah, send me a link. I will get one because I have to have one.
We'll have to designate a day at HUDCon to wear it. So we all wear it, and then
Yeah.
people will start freaking out.
Or you get one of different colors or styles and wear one for each day,
I was totally going to say that too, Kathy.
right? Because you're awesome.
Or I mean, you go even ghetto and you just get one. You wear it all 3 days. Fuck it.
And then no,
Use good deodorant.
no,
Don't spit your alcohol.
no.
You wear it on Thursday and then you hang it up and then you wear it on Sunday. By then, any aroma might have dissipated. I don't know.
Febreze, yo, Febreze solves a lot of shit. Oh.
No.
No.
That's not good. Mm-mm. I have a very very powerful sense of smell, and that would just So I'm gonna switch over to the paint cam real quick. Working over there. So, yeah, see, I can't hear the little splash screen, the stinger, go off now. So I'll have to figure out what that
either.
is.
Chat room, can you hear the stinger go off?
I don't.
By the way, I think that one right there, sort of, bottom row is sort of fourth one from the left is the stinger.
So I have no clue. I'll have to go back and try to figure out and maybe reset everything to default and such.
That was a BattleTech joke for everyone.
Yeah.
I heard. Right there. I'm pointing. You guys can't see me pointing at him, but I'm pointing right at the stinger.
Right here? Right here?
No. The fourth. Jesus Christ. Can you count? Fourth one over from the left?
1, 2, 3, 4.
There you go. That's a stinger.
That's a stinger.
No, that's fifth. Jesus Christ.
Look. Look, you can see my store. What my shirt looks like. That's it. It's not complex.
Oh, thanks. Get your pop up out of here, fucker.
It's not complex.
Add bookmark. Geek stuff. Done. Okay. Oh, it's an extra $1 for my size. That's fine.
I'm oppressing you.
Help! I'm being oppressed.
Okay, so I'm gonna paint this, and
You're shaking paint, right?
yes.
Yeah, because otherwise we're violating terms of service, something fierce.
I like the skull. I like that it's missing those teeth in the front there. It's earthquake.
No. By the way, talking about shaking and going, I watched Muppet Haunted Mansion this week.
I'm not sure how those are related, and I'm not sure I want to know how those are related. Some questions are best left unanswered. I have not seen Muppet Haunted Mansion, and based on reviews I've seen online, I will not be seeing Muppet Haunted Mansion.
I never heard of it.
It's new. Just came out.
Yeah.
It's funny when you get someone painting something that everyone's painted, like a skull. You see the different ways that people do it. Because Gonzo paints that way differently than I do.
Oh yeah. I have my own special way of painting skulls. I'm always amazed when I find somebody else who has who paints them like I do.
So usually what I do is I prime it white, then do a wash over it, usually a brown fleshy wash, and then I dry brush it with kind of like a bleach bone type. And since this is a really big piece, it's going to just be, quick and dirty type thing. And then I will then go over it with a white and then do details on it, because this thing's going to be seeing some damage and so on and so forth, so it's not like it's going to be
Excuse me.
tasty.
Not really.
So how do you paint your skulls, John?
Well, I'll actually start with a really dark, with a black or a really dark brown. and then just do layers of dry brush over that, and then maybe like a really watered down sepia type of wash over it at the end, and then maybe a couple quick touch ups to bring up the highest points afterwards. But I always go super dark with it. Like I've actually had white bottles that were primed white, and I actually just washed them black. I'd actually probably nowadays just use the black contrast on it, and then dry brush up from there. Just because you get that full depth that way. My buddy Ed Framer, Ed Gouda, who actually also has won Golden Demon, and not as many as you, Kathy. He actually was a big undead guy and showed me how he did it, and I just started there.
Well, Marshall says the skull needs a gold tooth, and I kind of agree with that.
I think I should paint one of them gold. Okay. I got gold. See, what's funny is there's actually two prints of this. This one, and then there was another one. It's the same thing, but it was a tarantula sitting on top of it. And I was like, I think I'm just going to go with just no tarantula.
So, Legionnaires, I saw your Stenorez question, but I've never used Stenorez Gray, so I can't answer that.
Oh. Kathy might be able to.
I've used lots of Steinolrez, but I don't know anything about the other one.
Yeah, so Kathy's used Stenorez, but does not know how it stands up to was it Adepticus Mechanicus Gray, whatever it is? Mechanicus Standard Gray?
I have no idea. All I know is Steinolrez is amazing, and they have a gray that when you use it looks just like gray plastic. So
it's a little light. It'll be a little bit lighter,
and it looks basically like plastic models in front of you. Now, what you could do if you need it darker is mix a little bit of black with it. I know nobody likes it when I say mix a little bit of anything with anything. It freaks people out. But if you mix a little bit of black with it, it'll be darker.
Well, to paint Cable, I don't have the right blue handy to do the color I wanted for his suit, so I had to actually mix to make the color, which made that day take longer because I mixed it towards the end and went, wow, this looks really good. All right, fuck it, let's go.
Find some more stuff to use it.
No, I had to go on him. I had to get a little bit of put a tiny bit of mixing media in it to make it go a little further than it would have otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, honestly, the more I'm using mixing mediums and stuff, the more I want to. That's why I got that Taskmaster cloak to come out, I would say very well.
Yeah, it came out really well.
I love the medium, like Lamian medium or the Vallejo glaze medium. I used to use those all the time before I started using a wet palette. I don't use them so much now, but yeah,
this is just P3 mixing medium.
Yeah, which is probably
the same stuff. I'm sure.
Probably the same thing.
Yeah.
Now, if I don't know if the P3 medium works the same way, but if I use like a Vallejo glaze medium, if I only use a little bit of paint and a lot of medium, it's almost like I can make my own wash, like my own, and it's like the Citadel washes, similar.
I've done it. It's a little less Citadel washy when I've done it, but I don't know. It's weird. It's just like a good, I want to say watered down, but not watered down. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
A good thing. You can do a lot of good effects with it.
It thins. Yeah, it's a thinner.
It's a thinner. Well, it thins it without making it watery. So it doesn't it'll stay where you put it.
Does the Privateer Press one sort of increase the drying time by a little bit too?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Because that's what I liked about the Lamia medium from Citadel and the Vallejo glaze medium is they increase that drying time, so the paint lasts a little bit longer. Not a lot longer, but a little.
A little bit, yeah. That's why I used it on the other night. I'm a couple. Let's go. Hail Hydrate.
Hydrate. He's a strong believer in hydration.
Me too. On mixing paint, it always seems like I can't get the color the same between paint sessions. You can't. That's a thing, unfortunately, Legionnaires. It's one of the things I love about painting Marvel Crisis Protocol models. Like, it's very rare I'll have to have the same color on two different models. And if I did, I'd paint at the same time. God, terms of service, rip.
Another one?
It's just Gonzo shaking paint. Honest.
Honest. So,
Well,
Gonzo, you gonna go back and do some of those, nicks and cracks and all with the darker color again?
yeah, I'm gonna take and get use like not like the do some panel lining with it.
I would actually suggest the contrast paint would work well.
I was gonna try it and see if I can get it to flow in there really well, just to make those pop.
I'm just worried it'd be too dark then. You think you'd want a brown so it's not quite pitch black.
The black might be a little harsh depending on where you're using it.
But then again, if that's what the look you want, I mean, that's
Yeah.
a good thing to know when you're painting things, people, is if it's the look you want, fuck convention. If you like the way it looks, it's suddenly the right thing to be doing.
Well, here, let me just test that real quick.
Yeah.
I got my panel liner. Let's do
Yeah,
the panel liner real
Maybe
quick.
the black is what you want in
Let's
the
see.
sockets of the teeth.
I'll be honest, I've been using a lot more of the contrast paints for stuff like that. You know, where you can paint a full color in there, but just having the watery one makes it easier to work with. Honestly, less likely you're gonna fuck everything up.
Yeah, too dark.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, just a little too dark.
Wipe it out. Get a paper towel quick and
Yeah.
soak it out.
Yeah, it just sops in too much. We'll do it. I got plenty of stuff to work with.
Yeah. But so it's good to know what you're working with. You know, did it work? Nope. Cool.
Nope.
Back up, punt.
Yep.
And that's the great thing about, something like an oil or even like I'll wipe acrylic paint off if it's like a watery paint
Mhm.
and I can catch it before it dries. Absolutely. I'll wipe it off with my finger or a paper towel or
Oh yeah. When I'm doing the contrast paints in crevices or depth or recesses, I'll get the little bit off with my finger, a little bit off the edge with my finger. It'll work fine.
Mhm.
Oh, and I did try one of the what company is it that makes the other contrast paints? Give me a second. Let me find the one I have here.
I didn't know someone else made contrast paint.
What makes there's another contrast paint?
Instant Color.
Didn't even know.
Yeah, Instant Color. They're like contrast paints.
Sure.
Oh. I've not heard of those.
Yeah, right.
They have them at the local store. They actually already have a shaker in there, an agitator.
Oh,
You-
nice.
You do have to punch a hole in the top to get it to work because
Oh,
it's
it's kind
sealed.
of like scale 75.
Yes, I think it's actually the same color, same company.
Okay.
But actually a good fan of it. I liked it. It is a dropper bottle, which is not necessarily pure advantage for that stuff, but it worked well. You just throw it on your palette, not your wet palette, your actual palette. Those of you out there. And then you can just brush on the amount you need. Because honestly, a lot of times I find myself wiping off part of the contrast paint in the pot anyway. So
Yeah.
I was pleased with them. They seem quality.
Oh, this poor brush. So abused.
Yes.
I mean, it does the job, obviously.
It screams the whole time.
It does scream. It's like, clean me, and I'm like, no, fuck you.
It'll say clean me, and I'll say no.
I don't. You know what? I'm looking at those sutures in the skull, and I feel like for the most part, they don't even really need a.
Well, I'm
At
gonna.
least the one on that side doesn't seem.
Yeah,
like
this
it
one's
needs
got a
any
really
wash.
good dark. Well, I've got. I mean, this is an ivory, a little bit darker white, not a pure white. So after I get with this, I will go with a pure white, and we'll see if that makes it pop a little bit more.
Yeah, I noticed that the dry brushing is starting to make them pop a little more
Mm-hmm.
in certain places. Yeah, that's a good tip too. If your dry brush is a little heavy, back up and punt a little bit.
I mean, 'cause like I said, this is just a fun little thing for someone to have.
Yeah, I mean, it's Dice Tower. It'd be cool.
Yeah.
Legionnaires, I don't know about Pearl Kill paints at all. I've never used them.
Yeah, I don't know either. I can't.
That is
I
a
can't
question.
recommend.
That is a question for Ferk Polo if you talk to him next, Legionnaires.
This is
I think
this
he's
is
used
the
it.
one I use.
Or Mo's Magic. Mo's will know too. So Mo's actually plays Micro Online with Legionnaires and I, and also occasionally watches the podcast. He's actually going to do a whole big posts on all the paints as he's used them and their ups and downs. Oh, shit.
My big tube of Utrecht titanium white.
I really like Vallejo white, I'll be honest. It's a good white. It's
Well,
probably
I ran out of my miniature paint white a few years ago, and I looked all over for white in the house, and all I had was this huge tube of titanium white that I had for like 20 years.
So you're like, good, I'm using that?
I said, well, maybe this will work. And yeah, sure enough, it works just fine for painting miniatures.
Well, so actually fine with the whites. You want a different white for a different job, theoretically. And this sounds really terrible. It's different white paint for a different job. That sounds better. Because the Vallejo one's a little thicker and does a really good job of coating things. I have White's Alchemy, which is the scale 75 white that part of their line. And that's a little more fluid, a little less harsh, and a lot better for, well, you know, when you don't need it to fully cover everything in the universe. Oh, is there any... Marshall wants to know, is there any magic in a bottle that does pearl?
Ooh.
Reaper Pearl
Kathy
White.
said Reaper Pearl White. Honestly, couldn't you just do that with white and maybe like a satin finish instead? If the rest of the model's matte, do that bit in a satin finish. Would that do a little bit of that effect too, Kathy?
I mean, it would be shiny, but it wouldn't be iridescent like a pearl.
Okay.
And Pearl White has got this just sort of iridescent quality, but you know, you could probably mix a color shift paint mixed with white might be an interesting option for that.
Yeah. How's that? So, if you want to keep the iridescent quality, how does that work with a matte varnish? Is that gonna?
No, do not do any type of varnish on any iridescent or color shift stuff.
Do a gloss varnish if you're gonna do a varnish, because gloss varnish will retain the shiny. Matte varnish will kill it dead.
That's why I brought it up. I know that.
I knew you knew.
That was the one thing, because whenever I was testing it out for my Warcaster stuff, I was like, oh, let's just test this out on a piece of plastic. Oh, well, that fucked it up.
And you know what? I learned it from Dave Taylor. That gloss varnish retains the shiny of the metallic, and that matte varnish kills it. And I didn't know that before, and so now you do the metal, and then before you do any kind of a wash or glaze over that, you know, like in the shadows, like you sometimes do, you do your shiny varnish first, and then you do your wash.
And you do real careful around the parts where they meet.
Yeah, because that wash is gonna be flat, and it's gonna flatten it out just like a matte varnish. So, and you know, it's okay to kill the shine in the recesses, but you don't want to kill the shine in the all the
really good point.
Parts.
Really good point. Because actually, I used a color shift on Hawkeye's base. There's a Hydra symbol on his tactical fuckery. And so I painted that in a color shift just because it was there. It was a cool reddish color. I actually have him right here. Let's reach over everyone. And I'm not really worried if it color shifts or not. I just really like the way the color looked on it. So, not sure how well you guys can tell. You can tell a little bit, I guess. But I like the way that works. So yeah, we'll probably gloss varnish that just so it looks shinier on the base. But we'll see. I mean, you can always tell. I can always just go over it a little bit with the base color again after I do that, and then gloss varnish that if I have to. We all like to think of varnish as the final step, but it ain't always.
No, in fact, I'm going to be doing a little more matte varnish on my Suzerain of Desire while I'm painting it. I've probably used varnish on it a few times already because it's a big model and I have to handle it a lot. And so
Yeah.
parts of it will start to rub off or get shiny. And so I just
Yep.
have to put a layer on every so often.
That is a great
And
point.
I've done that on metal models too, where you get that where it wants to rub off of all the, the sharp pointy bits,
Mm-hmm.
and varnishing it really helps it
Yeah,
not do that.
I've done anything where I have to hold part of it. I'll hold it, paint that part, get that part done, varnish that part, then I can hold my other part to paint the part I was holding originally, and then you don't script the part you started with. Like capes, if you use a cape separately, because Marge and I were talking about Magneto, whose Nexuses I fit down with cable on my big base models, and the capes get to be painted probably separately. So I'll paint it as much as I can on a bit, and then I'll have to varnish it so I don't fuck it up while I'm painting the other side or whatever, however I'm holding it. But oh, Kathy, you'll be proud. When I did the domino, I actually did your trick, and I pinned her so that she'd go in something to paint, because I can't just go to the base, because then you wouldn't get any of the back of her painted, because it's a giant wall.
Yeah.
Giant wall.
Here's everyone can see.
Oh yeah.
Well, everyone else has. So there's the wall, and there's her. She works perfectly, so that she'd be ducking behind it. And
I like that idea.
Well, yeah, and a couple people say it's really big. I'm like, it's not as big as you think, because here is a normal model next to the wall. So it's really not that big.
No, it didn't strike me as very big either. It's just, it's no weirder than any of the other basing stuff that they do.
Indeed. And Mystique looks like her gun's starting to bend. That's no bueno.
I've heard that a lot.
I mean, I can just take the silencer off. It won't be a big deal then. Just look differently. I did find a smaller wall, but when I used her next to it, I found that it was a little too short, you know? Like, it would work in a pinch, but I think I like the bigger wall better.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
All right, so what do we say? We want to do this tooth? That's our gold tooth?
Just one of them. You pick.
Nah, bigger tooth than that. Don't use small tooth. Fucking A, man.
Get this one?
Big tooth. Go big or go home.
Go big or go home.
Well, I don't want to put it as like right in the front, so it's got to be one of these two.
How about that one?
Yeah, he's missing so many teeth. There's not a whole lot to choose from.
I'm
say that
the
one.
other side, but
this
sure.
one? Okay, all right. Left side, right side.
Oh, there is one on the other side. But I don't know. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by the toe.
Put it over
If he
here because we'll
hollers,
break
make
this
him
up.
pay $50 every day. And my mom said to pick this one. The right one? The left one?
You should always use the right one. Do the right one, not the wrong one.
Not the wrong one. That's how you make decisions in life, isn't it? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
No, Kathy, we have dice. We roll dice.
I do eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Even the right one, odd the left one. That was odd, the left one.
See, even your dice agreed with me.
Yeah. I got this with my dice bag. She was so upset that it took so long for me to get the dice bag. She's like, I'm going to throw in some dice. I'm like, you don't have to, but I appreciate it.
So, this one?
Whatever Kathy said.
That one. Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
Remember, there's a delay, Kanzo.
I know. That's what I waited.
You should... Oh, well. I'll let him do his thing. So here's another one of the differences in how you can paint things. I actually always start with a either like 10 bits of the old GW color or a brown as a base for my gold.
Oh, yeah.
Gives you some good depth just in case, because gold sometimes doesn't cover white as well as you'd want.
No, it doesn't.
It's so thin.
You can multi-coat it, that works fine. Yeah. Or you're going to multi-coat it anyways, why not use something that gives you depth and you might like the way it looks. Little streaks might look darker in places. It might end up with something special. Or, worst case, ends up just the way it would have anyways. Holy crap, that's a white to...
Yeah, it'll be toned down.
Yeah, or black bronze.
Or, I mean, Decayed Metal is the Scale 75 version of that. And actually, Tinny Tin, if you go to
Tinny Tin.
Army Painter or Game Color, whatever one it is. I have a million of them. Look, I can't have this question. I'm never going to paint non-metallic metals, so I need to have a wide variety of metal colors. Metal. Too much metal for one hand.
I do have metal paints. I do.
I believe you.
Also, I have a turbo dark paint called Spicy Meatball.
Okay.
And I absolutely love it.
I really like the turbo dark ones. Even if you don't want the color shift, they're pretty good metallic colors.
This one is just the straight up metallic paint. Like the color shift ones are good, and you can use them over the regular metallic.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the regular metallic ones, they have a lot of fun colors too.
I would actually say they're probably even better over a metallic base. Just I did that one test Sigmarite model, and I found it's just a little weird painting it over just black. You'd want something metallic as a base or something close. Like if you use like a blue color shift, blue purple. I have a blue purple one, 3D, or blue reddish purple.
Mm-hmm.
You'd want something underneath it that's one of those two colors to sort of enhance. I would say probably the purple end, because the blue end's a lot stronger.
Yeah. Merple. That's the one that goes over Spicy Meatball. Merple.
Merple, okay.
Nope, my mistake. Merple is one of the metallics. Where's the one Cloud 9. That's the one. Cloud 9. It goes from purple up to sort of there's a color in between that's almost like a silver, and then it goes to like a yellow green.
Yeah, they have a lot of really cool color shifts.
L. Marshall says, I think I used Spicy Meatball on Ghost Rider's bike. God, it's just making me hungry.
I have Life on Mars. I don't remember if it's one of their color shifts or not, but it's a really good color. It's what I used on Hawkeye's base on that Hydra symbol. I was looking for something to paint that, and I'm like, I like the cut of this thing's jib. Let me try that. That's how you do it sometimes. So you have your paint somewhere where you can see them.
Bubblegum Crisis.
Yes.
How do you not like a paint called Bubblegum Crisis?
Because it's based off an anime.
So you don't like it because it's based off anime?
No, I'm just saying some people wouldn't. I don't care.
Them's fighting words for John, because Bubblegum Crisis is one of my favorite animes.
Yep. I even bought the RPG.
My condolences.
Ooh, fajita nachos.
Why are we talking about food again?
Because we always talk about food.
It's true. You know, when I had meatballs with tortellini, I was just looking at the red rum, Paul. I was just holding it in my hand. Red rum. I have all of the Turbo Dork.
I do not, but I like everything I've gotten from them. I think
Which is funny for somebody who doesn't use metallic paints very often, but I love them.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're all just tools, and the right tool for the right job.
Yes. My suzerain is all the armor is metallic on it, and I used a combination of let's see, I have things right here. I have Warp Black Bronze from the Citadel. That was my base for my gold. As Legionnaires mentioned, I'm just right here. It's my Warp Black Bronze, and then I used Reaper Cursed Gold. And I used the Afterburner Turbo Dork color shift on my golds, the gold armor. Afterburner. It was Taco Sunday there. Oh, I want tacos.
I would like tacos, but I have leftover pizza, so I will have leftover pizza.
I think my friend and I, when we drive up to Madison, we're gonna have to stop for tacos on the way.
I mean, that sounds like a good thing.
Of course, it's not until the 22nd, but you know,
they're doing
something to look forward to.
They're doing customer service appreciation week at my work, so there'll be some free food every day.
Sweet.
It will be the only time I actually eat Chick-fil-A because I won't give those fuckers money, but if someone else
Oh,
bought it
yeah.
already, I'll eat the fuck out of it.
Yeah. You don't want it to go to waste.
I mean, there's a point. Once it's purchased, I cannot control it anymore, so I will just eat it as food to be consumed. So.
The teeth look so white.
Yeah, I just give it a grill, just get a base coat of white, and then I'll go down and dull it down with some wash and some black.
So my thoughts on painting skulls is I envision them all like the woman, the skeleton unearthed at Pompeii or Herculaneum rather, and which is the other village, the less well-known village near Pompeii. Anyways, they unearthed this skeleton of this woman, and when you see the picture of it, as I did as a kid in National Geographic, uh, it struck me that it was all this sort of brownish color. You know, it wasn't white, except her teeth were white. But the rest of the skull had that sort of brownish, like freshly unearthed. And that's how I like to paint my skulls always, and they all end up looking like that. Also, I had that picture on my wall like a poster as a teenager.
I mean, okay.
Also, I wanted to be an archaeologist.
I mean, then that absolutely fits. I am not going to judge. You had National Geographic pictures. I had comic book posters. Actually, I still have all those comic book posters. I just don't
Legionnaires
have them hung up.
don't do it, Kathy. Well, Legionnaires, I think that ship has sailed some years ago.
I don't know. It's never too late to start a new profession.
It's never too late for back-breaking labor in the dirt and sunshine and insects.
Wow, it sounds really horrible when you say it like that.
I know. Back me up, though, Legionnaires. It's either that or it's paperwork.
Paperwork is my life, so unfortunately.
We're both. Kathy knows
Paperwork.
what it is. I know it's not all Indiana Jones and Fortune and Glory.
What?
Legionnaires, do you at least get a revolver? If there's no
Or a
revolvers
whip?
involved, I'm out. So my new hire told me that she needs me to be her life coach because I'm so positive all the time. I want you guys to drink that in. I'm so positive all the time.
Oh, she just doesn't know you very well, does she?
Actually, no, I try to be very positive at work.
Well, yeah, it's a front.
Yeah, it's just called the work personality.
Yeah, it's different.
Well, I mean, you're sitting there at work, you gotta be there. You might as well make the best of it.
That's how I always thought about it. That I would show up at work with my, personable, happiness, and everybody else couldn't deal with that level of, being positive in the morning.
Yes, Pena, that's my average day. I did not kill anyone. I did not set anything on fire. Successful day.
Who says work John is a different person than John?
Not really. Just because I don't use the customer service skills in you guys doesn't mean they're not still there.
That's true, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't do podcast rants at work. Generally.
I do. There's just less F-bombs in them.
Mm-hmm. Like I said. Yeah, we get the unfiltered version.
I mean, it is what it is.
And it's fine.
There's
Just
certain
fine.
things, We're working in customer service. We have to be happy. And if we're happy, we can be nicer. And then just be fucking happy. It's the circles. I show everyone I hire the circles. There's two circles. There's a large circle that's everything that fucking happens in the world. There's a little circle inside of it called the shit you can control. The only thing you should ever get upset about is that little circle inside, the shit you can control. Because you can't control the rest of that shit. If you get upset, you're just gonna fucking go nuts. So don't. That's how it works. Quite literally, I draw that, like, I go through my notebook and I have it on, like, several pages as I'm training someone and show them the circles, because not everyone understands that. Even I've had people who my age or older I've hired who didn't understand the circles, and I had to explain it to them. Like, no, you don't worry about this shit. You can't control it. Why are you gonna get worried?
There's no point.
Yeah, you can't get the fuck out all about it. That paint looks like spicy peanut butter.
Spicy peanut butter.
Yeah, it's just a standard brown.
You know what's coming up, guys? November. You know what November is? Peanut butter and jelly month at work. All month long, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Why?
And if you think for 1 second I will not eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or two every day, you all are crazy.
Yeah, like a chicken satay dip. Yes. Beanion, I don't know what kind of tacos you're eating, but I feel like maybe you should see a doctor. Maybe there's something wrong.
More like the aftermath of those pork tacos you made. The pork nachos you made.
Oh. Meanwhile, that sounds lazy, but you work.
I mean,
unless they also spring for Nutella. Ooh, Nutella.
So, Legionnaires, is it lazy, or is that just the thing they do? They're providing more than they have to? Is that lazy? You know, it's one of those things. There's a joke about Magic players.
I mean, they could have been making crepes, and then you put Nutella in those with some whipped cream and some bananas.
No, that would probably be Pandora Jewelry, where I used to work. They would probably do that.
Now I'm not actually that.
Because they actually had food. They feed you lunch and breakfast, and like they cater the whole thing. It was crazy, but pretty amazing.
The quality of the peanut butter. I mean, Skippy.
No, it doesn't. Legionnaires. Here's the thing: they're giving you more than they have to. There is no requirement for them to give me peanut butter and jelly through November, so I don't care as long as it is a not horrible version of peanut butter and not horrible jelly. It's all good.
Not horrible bread.
Yeah, that helps too. But honestly, with good enough peanut butter and jelly, I don't fucking care.
Ooh, I don't know.
No, it's all standard stuff. It's all stuff they just buy at the store. They just go to Costco or something and get a bunch of peanut butter. Last time it was actually single serve packets to keep everyone healthy through November COVID last year. So it was like little peanut butter packets, little jelly packets. I'm like, this is great. Oh, Captain Mizzy, that's a hell of a hot take.
It is. I like to think what you meant was, I really can't stand peanut butter.
Oh no, don't ever bring peanut butter around her.
Shut your mouth, L. Marshall.
Wow, it's hot take o'clock in the chat. Anyone else got some?
You know what I want? I want a Nutella peanut butter sandwich.
I like the cut of your jib, Kathy. I'll be right over.
You bring the Nutella.
Okay.
I have peanut butter.
So I'm sure there's a store on the way that sells it. Or 17.
What's the preferred jelly, though?
Grape.
Grape?
Yeah.
Always grape.
Ooh, raspberry, though. I like raspberry.
No one ever has raspberry. I would grab raspberries there. Strawberry is acceptable. But I'm definitely a grape jelly kind of guy.
I don't care for chunky peanut butter. I like just the creamy. Yeah.
I'll do chunky as a change of pace once in a while. You know, if you're doing an entire month of peanut butter and jelly.
I'd eat it. I mean, like if it like your company, if it was free, and I was hungry, I would eat it.
Well,
yes. L. Marshall, honestly, I don't get the difference. Jam jelly, it's all the same to me.
I think technically the strawberry jelly is actually more of a jam.
Jam. Oh, shit.
It's just not necessarily my jam. Ah, crap.
I got it.
Making a mess of everything.
I fixed it.
Yep.
So what is the floor of the dice tower part where the dice land? What color is
Lava.
that going to be?
Brown.
Floor is lava.
It's gonna be brown, like dirt.
It's not going to be red like the dirt on the outside?
Yeah, same thing. This
Oh.
brown is just a normal brown. It dries
Oh,
really.
that's funny because on the camera it looks like a red, like a reddish orange.
Yeah, it actually looks for like this color I have from Vallejo, like called orange brown.
Yeah. Well, brown is just dark orange, really.
True. What does he say? Nutella, peanut butter, and fluff? No.
Oh, that's gross.
I like marshmallows more than the next person, and I like fluff, but not with peanut butter and.
Yes, Bowie, the skull is a dice rolling tower, and you put the dice in through the eyes. Paul says, I'm a strawberry preserves guy, though the local farmer's market carries a 3P, peach, plum, and pineapple. All I could think in my head, I kept switching that around to P3, and I was like, what? So my mom makes a tomato jam, which sounds gross, but it's really yummy.
Well, in this case, I'll take your word on it because it sounds gross.
I know. All as a kid, I thought it was. I never would try it because I thought it sounded just disgusting. But no, as it turns out, it's a fruit, and when you mix it with sugar and stuff, it tastes good, like a fruit.
Okay. I mean, fair play.
Hey, Josh.
I would probably not necessarily try it myself, but if someone made one and handed it to me, I'm not going to say
yeah, it's worth. Yeah, it's worth trying if somebody hands it to you. Oh, bacon jam. My sister makes that.
I mean, bacon is my jam.
She works at a restaurant though, so she knows how to make it.
Bainhan found his puke a minute ago. Bainhan is not a tomato fan. Tomato gravy also sounds terrible.
Yep, that doesn't sound very good.
Different than a tomato sauce?
Well, I get the idea because sauce would be thicker and gravy would be more fluid, and that's what makes it sound terrible.
I don't know. I mean, I've put tomato sauce in with pot roast.
Why would you ruin a pot roast like that?
Oh my god, it was so good. And then the gravy for it is like this tomato beef gravy. So good. Now
I'm going to stand by my statement of why would you ruin pot roast like that?
What do you mean?
Beef gravy is perfect for pot roast.
Well, I mean, you make the gravy out of the drippings.
Yeah, but tomato in it sounds really
add a little bit of tomato sauce while you're cooking it, or actually before you even start cooking it. And then it just slow cooks in this water with this tomato, and then towards the end, in the last like half hour, then you put up the diced potatoes and sweet potatoes and carrots.
I mean, the rest of that sounds fine, but like, it sounds like adding tomato sauce to a pot roast is adding a flavor to the pot roast I do not want.
You just don't realize that you want it yet because you haven't had it.
I mean, that's a fair point of view, but I'm a big fan of pot roast as is. So.
Well, so am I, but I think at the time I think it was needs must, and I don't remember exactly why I chose to do that. Sometimes I put orange juice in with it, so you know.
I mean, again, willing to try everything twice. Might have been doing it wrong the first time, but that doesn't.
Maybe my idea was the acidic nature of it would help break down the tissue and make it more tender too, in addition to adding flavor.
I mean, if you cook it long enough, it's tender.
Well, it is, but also extra flavor.
Fair, but I think that'd be an extra sauce you would add. Like, hey, I've got this tomato sauce to add to your pot roast if you want extra flavor.
Well, it's not like I'm dumping spaghetti sauce in it.
Huh. Well, that's the thing. That's what it sounds like. I know it's not what you're doing, and it probably is perfectly fine and great. It just sounds really weird.
Yeah. Well, I'm more adventurous, I guess.
I mean, I'm adventurous. It's not like I wouldn't eat it, but
tomato works with anything savory.
you hear that, Banyan? Tomato works with everything, anything savory. Welcome to hell. I'm waiting for him to puke emoticon again.
What?
He does not like tomato.
Well, he doesn't have to eat it.
That's true.
I'm not forcing anybody to eat tomato sauce. I will force you to eat my mom's tomato jam, though.
Sorry, it's instinctual reaction. Like,
I know. It's weird.
Ugh.
Wait, not even in meatloaf? Not ketchup even in meatloaf?
Yeah, you pour the ketchup right over it and just bake it?
Yeah.
Well,
That's what you do. Either that or you do barbecue sauce. Like, I'll put barbecue sauce over it instead of ketchup.
Barbecue sauce does sound better, but I'll take ketchup on my meatloaf. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's how you do meatloaf.
They both work. These are all my winter things that I make.
I've also had a meatloaf with like just a really thick beef gravy on it too. That was fucking great. So.
Oh, hey, guess what? It's the media section.
I thought it was coming up.
I mean, we talked enough about food now. A little bit of ketchup's okay. Pizza sauce and spaghetti sauce. Yeah, he doesn't like tomato being in the same, I don't know, vicinity with his food otherwise.
You know what I don't like is I don't like the stewed tomatoes.
Oh, fuck those.
Like chunks of tomato in my tomato sauce. I can't.
No, stewed tomatoes or like broiled tomatoes, like fuck off with those things.
No.
I think I've talked this before. Mom used to make cheeseburger pie, and she'd put tomatoes on it, and I'd peel it off, and I just didn't like the bits where the tomato even touched it. And then she started making it half and half, and I would just devour my half, because it was my half. It was so good.
You may have all my stewed tomatoes.
Yeah, Legionnaires, you can have all the stewed tomatoes. You're down. Just do not want.
I agreed, Banyan.
There's certain things where the flavor plus texture does not mix well.
No, you know what? I like raw tomato, like slice it up, put a little salt and pepper on it, and I like it, but not cooked unless it's reduced to an unidentifiable puree.
Agreed.
With no chunks.
No chunks.
Yeah, I mean, it can be a little chunk, like salsa. You can be a little chunky and like salsa type of thing, but it's got to be not. Well, salsa's not cooked, so yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fried green tomatoes. Nope, do not want. I'm out.
Never had them. I would try it though. I'm not against trying something at least one time.
I mean, it's tomato and fried. I already know I'm not going to like two of those things together. The green doesn't make it any more appetizing to me.
The goo around the seeds. Yeah, I agree. All right. Media sections. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 things, and one of them we share, John.
Oh, I mean, I only have. Well, technically, I'm sure both things I'm going to talk about you've seen. So.
Okay.
And I've also seen the thing that you guys have just seen.
You may have seen the other thing I saw too. We'll see.
Possible.
Or seen the thing that I saw?
I only watched like old movies.
Well, I guess I can go ahead with the Muppet Haunted Mansion.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm a huge Muppet fan to begin with, so I'm like, anytime there's a movie, hell yes, I'll watch it. It was okay. It wasn't great. It wasn't awesome. Of course, Gonzo's the lead, so of course I'm going to watch it no matter what, just because he's awesome. It was all right. The songs weren't bad. the comedy was very much Muppet, and they even third wall themselves or whatever, going, yes, we're not going to explain every joke in this, but you will get them all. Um, it was your typical standard Muppet thing that they break the wall, they go out of the way, tons of puns, but it was just all right. It was only about an hour long though, so it felt really short. Um, it had quite a big cast of normal people there too, but it was just a meh. It gets my 2.5 space herpes. Um, I wish it would have been better, but you just got to deal with what you got to deal with. Um, Pass or fail. It's like I said, it just gets the meh rating because there's not much to it. It was just there type thing. So it was just, I was kind of disappointed, but there was some funny moments, but nothing that made me roll it on the floor. Um, and I think it was mostly because it was all just Gonzo and very little of everybody else. And the Muppets play well off of each other a lot, and with him just there, just didn't make it feel good
It's
enough.
better when it's like an ensemble puppet show.
Correct. Don't get me wrong, I love my Gonzo. Give me more of him, but he does well when he plays off of everybody, and there was a little less of him playing off of everybody, type thing. So,
Fair enough.
Kathy, what you got?
Did I mention last week Lair of the White Worm? I couldn't remember if I saw
You
that on
did
Sunday.
not,
No.
because I would have remembered because I've seen that movie a couple times.
Okay, yeah. So I watched that. It must have been Monday that I watched it then. Yeah, Lair of the White Worm. It's a good October movie.
Yeah, I'd
And
say vaguely horror. I'm not sure. It's really more strange than horror, though.
I mean, technically it's horror. It's got horror elements to it.
It's
It is
very
strange.
David Lynch strange though type,
It's
even though it's
strange.
not David Lynch.
It's cheesy. It's
Yes.
cheesy, which I like.
Definitely
but
moderate budget at best. Probably lower than moderate.
I think it was 1988, 87 or 88 when it came out. And it was a young Hugh Grant and Peter Capaldi.
Yes.
And I don't remember the woman's name. I don't remember. Anyways,
it's Amanda Donoghue.
Old ancient pagan snake cult, human sacrifice, snakes. It was hilarious and I loved it.
Yes.
I had friends for years telling me I needed to watch that movie, and it's free on Amazon Prime right now.
I'm trying to remember why I watched it in the first place. I think I saw there was some compilation show on thing where it showed clips from various horror type movies, and I saw some clips from it. I'm like, that looks strange. And then I guess I walked by it in the old video store, not even like a Blockbuster Video. This is like pre-Blockbuster. This is just the local video store. And I'm like, fuck, I'll rent that. That seems odd. And I saw clips from it, and it was every bit as odd as I thought.
Yep. It's odd. Totally worth watching. It's a good October movie. I would classify it as horror, but it's the cheesy kind of horror.
Yeah, it's horror, but it's much more interesting, I think, than a lot of modern horror movies because it's not trying to jump scare you. It's not trying to bloody gore you. It's just horror elements.
Yeah. And also it's not a rehash of Dracula and vampires and Frankenstein and and that kind of thing. It is a very original sort of thing.
Yeah, it's very original. And Captain Izzy wooed me, youngin.
Izzy, what is pre-Blockbuster? Nowadays they're asking what is Blockbuster.
Oh. No, it's pre-Errol's Marshall. It was just the local video store.
Our local video store was White Bear Video.
I don't remember the name of it. It was in Cape St. Clair way back in the day. And before that, I had to go to, you remember back when they used to put them all in the white containers? like the white and black.
I remember back when people didn't own their own VCRs and they were able to rent the VCR at the video rental store.
Yep.
Getting a VCR was a big deal.
Yep.
Like, got a VCR with the wired remote.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
my dad had that.
And always flashing 12.
Because you couldn't figure out the clock. It took like 4 PhDs to figure out the clock.
Uh-huh. Well, unless you wanted to actually set the timer to record something if you weren't home. And my dad was able to figure that out.
But not the clock, but he could figure out how to time it otherwise.
Yes, yes.
Ooh.
That is correct.
Yes.
What?
So what do you give Lair the White Worm as far as space herpes?
Oh, it's got to have like 3 space herpes, but they're all beautiful space herpes.
Beautiful snaky space herpes.
Yeah. It's a wonderful, hilarious ride. Yeah, based on something written by Bram Stoker, exactly, Paul. And I never read the source material either, but when I saw that it was Bram Stoker, I felt like I need to look that up.
And honestly, that actually feels about right, because it's very similar in tone to Dracula.
Yeah, yeah. But yet being so completely different from anything that's a vampire,
Yeah,
you know,
definitely not.
book, story. So, what else we have?
What else we have? What do I talk about first? Let's talk. I watched 2 episodes of Bane and I watched 2 episodes of What If.
Uh-huh.
I still haven't seen the recent ones.
They're not recent because we watched the What If? God, what's his name? Killmonger saved Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Oh, uh-huh.
And the What If Thor was an only child.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I would say that the Thor one should have been earlier in the series to break up the down.
Yeah, because that one was more of a lighthearted, silly thing.
Yeah, it was very lighthearted, silly, and after so many serious downer episodes in a row, it was really off-putting. And I think it was a very tonal mistake on their part. It was fine. I wouldn't call it great. It was... It skipped humor and went straight into stupidity, and I was not ready for it, so it hit me wrong. So, so I give that one, I don't know, I'll be nice and say 2.5 space herpes.
Yeah, the meh.
It's funny, it's stupid, but solid humor. The Killmonger one started off much better, but really devolved into this Deus Ex Machina thing where it's like you're not the Joker planning these super elaborate plans where you've accomplished everything. It's Marshall tells me he's much more like he was in the comics, which I will bow to his superior knowledge of the comics, but as far as the movie one goes, it was completely out of left field and fine. I would say the good and the bad sort of cancel out to another 2.5. So after a really strong start, What If has been kind of
meh,
mediocre through the last couple. And let's be fair, it's kind of mediocre for Marvel standards. So as far as overall, it's still better. Like, aside from the zombies I didn't like for other reasons, every episode of that has been better than any episode of Clone Wars. So I'm feeling great about that.
Well, you know that we did lose an episode. There were supposed to be 10 episodes in this season, and they took one of the episodes from this season and then put it in season 2. A Gamora and Tony Stark episode.
Interesting. Paul John is absolutely why it went there, but it's still a very poor choice tonally for the series. You start with 2 highs, then you go way down low, and you have to realize you're going to lose some people with the zombie episodes. People just don't like. I don't like zombies.
Yeah.
And it requires people to be stupid, and they're just out of character for those. And the Thor one does bring you back up, but at that point, I think it's potentially too late. You've lost a small portion of the crowd. Then the rest are just sort of like watching it because it's there. So far, I'm fine with it. Maybe it'll bring it back up in the last episodes, but not. It's not great. It is the worst of the Marvel series that they've put out there. And I'm saying that being unable to watch most of or unwilling to watch most of WandaVision because I don't like sitcoms. The ending of that was strong enough that I'm willing to give it higher than that.
Yeah,
So,
well, I mean, I watched the last episode, the season finale, and it was a lot of fun. It is a culmination episode of everything that's gone on in the What If.
oh yeah, you can see that based
Yeah,
on the end of the Thor episode. You know that something's coming. So,
and it was a lot of fun. I give it, because I'm not going to spoil it, I give it one space herpy, because they took out the Gamora Tony Hawk episode. Tony Hawk.
Tony
Tony
Stark.
Stark. Now
Well,
that'd
I'll
be
be honest,
cool.
I'm in for the Gamora Tony Hawk episode.
Oh
Down
yeah.
with that.
Yep.
Tony Stark and Gamora episode didn't make it in this season, so it kind of felt a little weird, but it'll be in the next season. So it was okay. It was good. It's good fun, and you can tell it's still more of a setup. Everything's more set up, more set up, and more set up because there is after credit scenes and such. So I'll just have to wait and see.
Yep.
But speaking about Marvel, we're getting a spin-off from WandaVision. So of what's her face? Brain fart.
What's her face? Photon?
No, the Lady Witch.
The fuck?
From WandaVision.
What? All right, whatever.
Agatha. Yeah, we're getting an Agatha spin-off.
That is, on the surface, really dumb.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. I'm kind of curious to see what they're gonna do with it. I mean, I like the character, but I don't. What time frame, all that stuff. What are we gonna put it in? But
that is immediately on my not gonna bother.
I never watched WandaVision, so I don't have a horse in that race.
I mean, I watched enough to know that I don't care enough about that character to watch a fucking series about her.
I'll have to wait and see. I'm gonna have to wait and see.
That's like, third tier villain in a fucking series getting here's your well, actually the funny thing is if you made a series about Justin Hammer, I'd probably watch that. He's way more interesting. I'm trying to think of a villain that you'd be like you wouldn't watch a series about. She's just not that good of a villain. Yeah. I'm plenty positive, but that's a dumb idea. They think they can make it what Loki is, and they're not going to be able to. There's none of that there. I mean, it might just be good content that they're going to make. Sure, some people are going to like it. Definitely not for me.
Kathy, do you have anything else?
I have a few things, but I'll just mention since we're talking about Marvel things. I did rewatch Loki over the last couple of weeks, which was fun. It was fun to see it a second time, and it was, I think, even better a second time around. That is a fun series, and I am very much looking forward to the next season of that. But other than that, I watched this weekend Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2.
Ghostbusters 2 is very underrated.
It is. I really enjoyed it, and I think what some people were looking at was they wanted it to be just as much of a wow as the first one, but it never could. There is no way that it could be, because the first one was so original and different, and once you have that whole thing with these guys fight ghosts and capture them and contain them, that was a surprise in the first one. In the second one, what are they going to do? We all know what that is.
Yeah.
But the story itself was great. And Peter McNichol is a brilliant actor. And he plays the quasi-villain. I don't want to say he's a villain. He's kind of possessed. Really well. He's brilliant.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, it's very underrated. People should rewatch it more.
Absolutely.
Here's something.
Alexa, stop. I don't know what triggered that. Sometimes.
It's random. It's weird. That happens to me too. But yeah, so it was really fun. I hadn't seen either of these in a really long time, and it was fun to revisit that. Just it, it, there's not a lot of adventures with that kind of original storytelling being told these days.
Yep. It's all rehashes.
So zero space herpes
Fair enough.
on those.
Well, I'm going to talk
Oh,
about.
you know what? But let me just say, let's give a half a space herpy for the whole. Oh my God, Bill Murray's character was so creepy. I mean, like he was a creeper, and he's harassing this woman. And in this day and age, that doesn't fly, and it isn't really that funny.
The only thing that saves him is the fact that he has an opportunity to do terrible things and then does not.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
That's
what
the
redeems him as a
redeeming thing.
character.
Exactly. But yeah, as I'm watching that, I'm like, oh my God, this guy is creepy. And I think that was one thing I didn't care about with that character, or I didn't care for that character. And it's probably on some level when I was younger and saw it because of that. Because
Yes.
he was a creeper and chicks don't like to be harassed in that kind of a way. Because I loved all the other characters, like they were hilarious. And that was just like this thing that kind of made me a little uncomfortable. Other than that, fantastic. So, like I said, maybe a half a space herpes.
Cool. Well, let's talk about something that's not half space herpy there, Gonzo.
I'm going to talk about Foundation. Foundation is an Apple TV show based on Isaac Asimov's books. I'm going to get this in. I'm only about 4 episodes in because they release it weekly. And I am enjoying the shit out of this show. It reminds me of like Dune, with all the history and the story and the emperor and all this stuff. And I mean, that's where I'm getting the feel for it. Um,
Well,
yeah, Apple TV's has been some really good shows lately.
yeah. Unfortunately, no one's going to watch it because people aren't paying for Apple TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it got renewed for a second season already, and the first season isn't even over. So
The second season of people are not going to watch it because people aren't going to be Apple TV.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yep.
it's just the answer is not your own streaming service.
Yeah.
I'm here to tell everyone out there that's not the
Yeah.
answer.
They've got a few shows that I've watched on there. I know that their other show like won a ton of Emmys and or whatever recently. But I was watching this because I heard it was a really good space opera sci-fi show, and I was like, yeah, I got Apple TV. I've got it for a while. I'll watch it, and I'm enjoying the shit out of it. It's really good. It 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 reminds me of a good space opera. Very big history, very big story, very big things going on. You learn about it a lot, so um, I'm enjoying the crap out of it. So far, I give it 0 space herpes because I am enthralled by it. El Marshall, I did try watching C, but I couldn't get past them doing martial arts because they're blind. Perfect martial arts.
Have you ever heard of Zatoshi, the Blind Master?
Well, I couldn't get past the first fight army scene where they were doing everything. So everybody says to stick with it, but I was like, oh wait, I have another episode of something else to watch.
Wait, do you like Donnie Yen's character from Rogue One?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he's blind too. Did you like him?
Yeah, but this one.
Okay.
So all right, so let's go with the big one that we watched this weekend. Black
The
Widow.
big one. Sure, the big one.
So Black Widow came out.
A resounding meh has been heard throughout the universe.
I agree with you. It came out on Disney Plus for free, and I was like watching it, and I'm like, this is actually pretty boring.
I didn't find it boring. What I found was the action scenes were fine until they introduced CG, and in an era where practical stunts are coming back, the CG was almost blatant.
It wasn't good.
Like the car chase when they're going through the car and they've got the vehicle chase them it just felt wrong. Like the explosions when cars are flying, some of it just felt wrong. You're like, that
Yeah.
didn't strike me right. I don't know what it is. Maybe mood again, but just didn't seem right. Like when Black Widow and her quote unquote sister are fighting, that was fine. That was a great scene. A lot of the personal ones like that were fine, but some of the special effects, I think, I don't know if it was just a bit off, or my mind was just seeing through it. It just, or didn't have that immersion for some reason. But yeah, it was not great.
And the timing of it, I don't care
This,
about Black Widow. I
yeah,
know what a character was. I know what she was like. I know it. The basic premise, and it just didn't feel worth it to watch.
it should have been set out. Should have been set before. They should have put it out before Infinity War came out.
Yeah.
Needed to. Would have been good then. Stakes. It doesn't feel like setup, even though it is set up. I do give it credit. It doesn't feel like it's just set up for other things. Even though I'm sure it is. I like the dynamic between her and her sister and everything. I have, of course, mentioned how people on the internet are upset with how they did Taskmaster dirty, and they did. If you're a Taskmaster character, it's not really what Taskmaster is, but he's not a big villain. I'm here to tell you. He's third tier Avengers villain, and they needed someone, so he had the name. By doing that, they gave you expectations. They will subvert those expectations, so fine there. I'm actually more upset that they played Red Guardian dirty.
They
He
made
didn't do a
him.
fucking thing other than be comic relief.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was a little bit of a mistake.
Yeah, they made him comic relief.
They made him too much. He was like an 11 comic relief. He needed to be a 10. He'd have been fine at a 10, but he went to 11.
Yeah.
And the way the movie was made, he's not in it enough for that quote unquote comic relief redemption to mean as much. You know, when it happened, you're like, okay, that's cool, but it wasn't great.
Yeah, I agree. It just wasn't. I was like, I could have dealt without it.
And he needed a good fight scene where he could have been awesome, but they didn't give him that. He just fought Taskmaster and was not doing well. And you're like, whatever, you know.
I'm big guy. I strong. I make funny.
Yeah, yeah, but he's supposed to be Russian super soldier, you know. He's supposed to be Russian Captain America. I mean, a lot of the jokes for him do land well. David Harbour does a great job selling those. It's just too much of it, and it's off the mark. It feels like a DC movie.
Yeah, I could get you on that one. I agree.
Just sort of just enough off the mark. You're like, that could have been, but it wasn't. So, a solid 2.5. Now, granted, compared to other action movies, it's probably more of a 2 because it is compared to a lot of modern action movies and not top tier ones. It's fine. I would probably classify it as in a fight for least likely for me to rewatch Marvel movie. Yeah, probably least likely for me to rewatch.
Yeah, I have no desire to.
I mean, I would definitely rewatch The Incredible Hulk more and probably rewatch Thor: The Dark World because the emotional moments in that are more interesting. The Thor and Loki dynamic's more interesting. Which is too bad because Yelena and Natasha have a good dynamic together, and I thought that was interesting, but just not enough.
No, it was very much a meh. Better than a poke in the eye, but it's about it.
Yeah. So. Well, yes, but we said that, but they made it they hid that, so I give them a little credit for hiding that. That was the point because there is, of course, after credit scene that goes there, but. We'll see how it plays out overall. But again, it's not my least favorite Marvel movie. That is still Infinity War, though everything in Infinity War, the action, everything is much better. But the comedy smacks of very similar, just overdone at points. Oh, I love Iron Man 3, Marshall. I think that's fun. But then again, it's Shane Black, and I like Shane Black stuff. I think as far as a Marvel movie, it's very far out there as far as different tonally, but... And I love the Mandarin reveal. People got their panties in a bunch about that, and I thought that was fucking great. So, there you go.
All right.
I am still looking forward to Shang-Chi, though.
Yes, I am too. Guys,
So
that's
tomorrow, speaking of media,
Oh, sorry.
I'm going to see James Bond tomorrow at the IMAX.
I heard that's getting a lot of good reviews.
I mean,
IMAX.
it better be amazing after the last one.
Yeah, everybody's
I've been
saying.
hearing good things about it
Yep.
from people, so yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, Banyan saw it and he said good things about it. So there you go. I'm waiting for more reviews. I will probably not go out and risk the theater to see it, but you can blame that on Spectre more than anything else.
I needed to see it in the IMAX.
Seems like
That's
James
how
Bond.
it was filmed. That's how it was filmed. So, yeah.
Seems like James Bond keeps getting me. You're like, oh, didn't really like his, didn't really like the one before Casino Royale, so I skipped that in the theater. Watched that, I'm like, oh, that's great. Then I watch,
Is it like the Star Treks?
yeah, but I'm on the wrong schedule. It's like Quantum of Solace. You're like, saw it in the theater, it was fine. And actually, was it Cinema Wins actually is doing a James Bond thing on the Daniel Craig James Bond. So watch those if you're interested. It actually made me want to revisit Quantum of Solace. But I was like, Quantum of Solace was kind of, it was fine, it was decent, but not enough. And then I didn't see Skyfall, and Skyfall was great. And you're like, fuck.
I feel like this is the cherry on top of my entire last year of watching all of the James Bond films in order.
It's like you have to.
Yeah, this is a requirement right here.
Absolutely. And I look forward to the Kathy review.
And with that,
I'm John.
I'm Kathy.
And I'm Gonzo. Good night.
Everybody for joining us today.
We are going to send you off to the Dragon. Make sure you go there and say hi.
They're playing shenanigans. They're just playing video games.
Shenanigans!
So it should be fun. Oh, it's go deeper.
Phrasing?
Go deeper.
We're good for not doing phrasing anymore?
Go deeper.
Just gonna keep repeating it. Still not phrasing.